Welcome to Mrs. Thurman's triple beam balance tutorial. I'm videotaping this myself, so you're going to see it kind of moving back and forth, zooming in and out. Hopefully it's not too blurry for you all. But this is part of your Scientific Tools lab. We use a triple beam balance to find the mass, or the amount of matter, in an object. For the balance, solid objects can be measured on here. You cannot put any loose objects like sand or liquids, obviously cannot go on here. Alright, so some of the pieces or parts. You will notice this area is where you will place the object. You never want to push your hand on it or put something like a textbook or something really that would have a lot of mass on it, because you can end up breaking the equipment. Okay, so this looks like a bunch of different types of rulers, and these have different measures or weights on them. Here in the middle, you notice this one is the largest, and they all start at 0 grams. It's always measured in grams, and it goes by hundreds all the way up to 500. One in the back is measuring by 10 grams, and the one in the front is our smallest, our fine-tuned measurement, and it's going by tenths. There's 1 gram, 2 grams, and in between is each mark is 1/10. Okay, over on this side we will see here the goal when we measure is to make sure this line is on the bar is lined up with this 0 here. So what we want to do is always make sure before you place an object on there to measure that these are lined up, and that's lined up pretty close. If you needed to adjust it, this knob is what you would turn. If you needed to move this line up, say it was down here and you needed to move it up, you would turn this knob away from yourself. If this line was up here and needed to move down, then you would turn the knob towards yourself. Okay? Alright, so I have here a glass beaker that I place on the balance, like so. Now you notice, the minute I place it, well, that line is no longer on 0, right? That makes sense. So what are we going to do to figure out the mass of this glass beaker? We always want to start off kind of a way of eliminating with the largest one. Move it, there's little grooves, so you can move this until it locks into or sets into a groove. Now there, it moved to 100. Well, it's still up pretty high, so let's see if I move it over to 200. Well, now it's way low. So what that tells me is this beaker does not have a mass of 200 grams, but it has a mass of at least 100, and actually a bit more. So now that I have figured that out, I'm going to use the middle one. Move it to 10. Okay. Well, that tells me that it is less than 110 grams. So I would move that back. And I'm going to have to use the smallest one now to figure out the exact mass. So you just move it along carefully using just your fingertip. And carefully watch as you're moving this along to see if we can get it really close to lining up. This takes a little bit of time and patience, but you can get a pretty accurate reading or measurement of the mass of an object this way. So we're very, very close. This is where having like a pencil tip or A little fingernail helps because you want to carefully move it. All right. So that looks very close. So we know we've moved that to 100, so we know it's 100 grams. And now we can take a look at this. So it's past the 1. It's between 1 and 2. Each little line is a tenth. So that would be 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. So the total mass of the beaker is 101.5 grams. All right, when you finish measuring an object's mass, you would take it off. And etiquette, using tools properly, means you should move the measures or the weights back to 0. And it would be really kind and nice of you to leave your station with it zeroed out. But you always want to check and make sure before using that it is balanced to begin with. Otherwise, your measurement is going to be way off. So, I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. Good luck using the triple beam balance.